Hello everyone, welcome to Achievers IAS classes. Let's begin our discussion on the current events of the day, that is 17th January 2018. The first issue in news is regarding the megalithic remains unearthed in the state of Kerala. Recently, in the Kozhikode district of Kerala, a rare sarcophagus, which is a stone coffin, was discovered from a rock-cut cave. The coffin contains bone fragments which could either be of a man or a woman and will be sent for carbon dating for determining the time period. Along with the bone fragments, different types of pottery, jars and iron implements were found in the cave. Remains like this have been found in many archaeological sites before in South India, and the recent excavations add one more to the tally. Given that UPSC has already asked questions on various archaeological findings in several sites, the news article is very important to us from the examination point of view. With that, let's move on to the next issue in news, which is regarding the annual status of education report for the year 2017. The report has brought out various interesting facts by focusing on youth in the age group of 14 to 18 years of age. The ACR 2017 report is different from the previous ones because it employs a wider set of domains beyond just foundational reading and arithmetic in an attempt to capture the status and abilities of youth in this age group. Also, the previous ASER reports generated estimates at the district, state and national levels, but the ASER 2017 has generated only district level estimates. Some of the important findings of the report include 36% of the children surveyed did not know that Delhi was the capital of India, and 14% of the rural youth in the age group of 14 to 18 years failed to identify the map of India, and a staggering 79% of them only could answer which state do they live in, thereby throwing light on the quality of education till so far not seen dimensions. Coming to the school enrollment of the children in the age group of 14 to 18 years, the report has revealed that only around 14% of them are not currently enrolled in any school or college, but this percentage varies a lot with age, highlighting that at the age of 14 years, only 5.3% of the children in the age group of 14 to 18 years are not enrolled, but by the age of 17, this percentage almost quadruples to 20%, which in the Indian scenario translates to large number of youth who are not in the formal education system. The report further highlights the difference in enrollment rates between boys and girls, which stands at 32% for girls as against 28% for boys in the age group of 14 to 18 years. Finally, the report states that about 25% of the children in this particular age group still cannot read basic texts in their own language, and more than half struggle with basic division, thereby highlighting the shortcomings in our educational system and the lack of quality at different levels of education. With that, let's move on to the next issue in news, which is regarding Khap Panchayats. The issue is in news because recently the Supreme Court has condemned the conduct of caste panchayats while hearing a public interest litigation filed by an NGO Shakti Vahini against honor killing and the role of Khap panchayats in it. In this regard, the Supreme Court has said that any collective attack by a Khap panchayat on an adult for choosing to marry a person of their choice is absolutely illegal and condemned. The court has further said that it would not tolerate any manner of such collective and regressive conduct by Khap panchayat or such group of persons. The article is highlighting the legislative vacuum because of a lack of law against honor killing. UPSC has previously asked in the mains examination a question on the role of Khap panchayats, which makes it very important from the examination point of view. The next issue in news is an editorial in the Hindu regarding the recent spike in the bond yields. As I have already covered in yesterday's news analysis, the sharp rise in bond yields has hit the banks with the losses on their capital and profitability of over 15,000 crores in the previous quarter. The banks have pleaded the Reserve Bank of India to allow them to stagger the reporting of these losses over several quarters, given the huge burden already imposed on them due to the non-performing assets. But such innovative accounting mechanisms will only come at the cost of accuracy with which banks can reflect their financial health. And the Deputy Governor of the RBI has recently expressed his reservations against granting any such relief. In this regard, the banks should address the reasons for their investment losses rather than seeking any temporary measure by the RBI. And irrespective of the accounting standards, the markets can easily identify the shortcomings on the bank side and pull down the share prices of these entities. With that, let's move on to the next issue in news, which is regarding the shrinking area of forests in the Western Ghats. According to a new survey, there has been a reduction of up to two-thirds of the natural grasslands in the Padani hill range of Western Ghats due to increasing timber plantations, agricultural activities, and the spread of invasive species in the region. This reduction in forest area is particularly drastic in the Shola grasslands, which account for more than one-third of the reduction in their previous area, and it seems to be accelerating through the decades. To tackle these changes, the report highlights that any knee-jerk reaction of harvesting invasive species to increase the green cover will only end up further harming the ecology of the area, thereby threatening the local flora and fauna, particularly the endemic species such as the Nilgiri pipit in the region. Therefore, it requires complete ecological understanding of the area to restore the health of these pristine forests. Given the ecological importance of Western Ghats and the endemic species of flora and fauna it supports, any issue regarding threats to this ecological landscape is important to us from the examination point of view. With that, let's move on to the next issue in news, which is the recent numbers put out by the government about the influx of Rohingyas as well as insurgency in the northeast. The Minister of State for Home Affairs has recently claimed that no Rohingya Muslim has entered India since 2014 and the insurgency related incidents in the northeast are the lowest since 1997. And he has highlighted that due to the actions taken by the government, like initiating a procedure to deport illegal immigrants and prohibition of fresh entry of Rohingya Muslims by the border guarding forces, the Rohingya influx into the country has been contained. Further, the minister highlighted that there are no insurgency related incidents in the northeastern states of Tripura and Mizoram and highlighted that abductions in the northeastern states has come down compared to the previous years. The next issue in news is regarding the concerns raised over water scarcity, which can adversely impact the power generation capacity of the thermal power plants. According to the new report released by the World Resources Institute, about 90% of the Indian thermal power plants rely on fresh water for cooling and face the risk of serious outages because of shortage of water, which amounted to more than 20% of the growth in the country's total electricity generation in the previous year. The report highlights that the shortage of water not only results in the shutting down of the equipment but also is responsible for lower level of efficiency of these plants. And the problem is said to worsen given the competition for water from other sectors like agriculture, industry, municipalities, etc. Surprisingly, even India's most water abundant areas are not immune to these challenges and face risks due to droughts or when monsoons are delayed. In this regard, the government has recently mandated limits for specific water consumption at the thermal power plants, which is a welcome step, but it has to further create policy incentives for water conservation to help encourage water efficiency and innovation in the power sector. With that, let's move on to the next issue in news, which is regarding the draft policy on farm export. The proposed policy is aimed to boost shipments of farm items by identifying new markets and focusing on value addition and reduction of wastage through various pre and post harvest interventions. To this end, it also helps to develop agricultural clusters. Given the government's aim to achieve 4% of growth in the agricultural sector, the proposed policy is a welcome move and will further look into it once the details of the same is out in public domain. Till then, let's move on to the next issue in news, which is regarding the immigration policies and laws of the US. The issue is in news because the United States has deported over 460 Indians in the year 2017 due to tougher implementation of immigration laws, and President Donald Trump has time and again reiterated that he supports merit based immigration into the country with greater emphasis to protect American interests. This is worrisome to India because, according to a new research, there could be as many as 5 lakh undocumented Indians in the United States, and tougher enforcement of immigration laws could adversely affect them. And the government of India can do little for their cause because many of these immigrants have entered the United States by crossing the border illegally. Along with these undocumented Indians, there are at least 23,000 Indian and Pakistani nationals who are termed dreamers, to refer to children who came to the US with their undocumented parents. And as we have seen, President Donald Trump is critical of such immigrants in the United States and has repeatedly threatened to deport illegal immigrants out of the country. We'll look into this issue in further detail as it evolves in the days to come. With that, I wrap up today's news analysis. Please do like, share, and comment to support this initiative. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.